Hello my scrappy friends, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters and thank you for joining me for a Kitaholic Kits design team layout. So I started this layout by being inspired from a beautiful layout I saw on Pinterest. Unfortunately, because it was on Pinterest, it didn't have a watermark and I don't know who the original designer was, but perhaps you have seen it because mine is a very similar base copy to what the original designer started out with. So basically, I have created myself a cut file, which you can see there that says Fresh Vibes Only. And I stitched all the way around the little fiddly writing and as a border around the edge. And I'm going to be backing that with branding strips from the kit because I just loved all the different bright colors and the patterns that were part of this month's kit, and I wanted to use them all, so I'm going to be putting those behind this cut file. Now that is very much inspired by this beautiful layout that I saw on Pinterest, so definitely not my own original idea. But the rest of this layout is a little bit different to what the original designer did. The original designer had quite a lot of large embellishments along the bottom and around the top. I am not going to do that. I'm having multiple photos, two photos, and just a few little embellishments. As you saw at the start, I also popped some watercolors underneath these corners here, which is sort of going to be the base for where my photos and embellishments are going to be sitting. Using a couple of, that really large journaling card from the Paige Evans collection, cutting off this little cut aparts from the paper kit, which was How About No, because that's before my hair was done. Another little journaling card, I cut that circle in half and just put half the circle onto the page. I am also popping up a few of the smaller flowers with some foam to pop around my photos, just keeping the embellishments really simple. I don't want to overdo it because it's a bit hard to tell yet because I don't have the branding strips in the background yet, but if you imagine the quite variety of colors and patterns that you can get from a whole collection of branding strips, it's going to end up being quite busy. So I do want to keep the embellishments a little bit more subtle. I did also put the branding strips into a bit of a rainbow color order because I thought that looked really cute. And I sewed each branding strip with just a straight sewing machine line. There was two reasons for doing that. One, and probably most importantly, was that it just helped to adhere the branding strips onto the paper. They're quite thin. I definitely could have just put a whole bunch of double-sided tape, but this just seemed like a nice little extra pop of texture to add on the page. So now I am going around all of my letters with a bit of wet glue because that's going to adhere all of these branding strips on for me. I've also, as you can see, stuck all my branding strips onto just a A4 piece of photocopy paper in this pink color. The pink color's purpose was just because if any of the branding strips didn't quite line up and a little flash of color shows through, the pink kind of melds in quite well with what's going on with this layout. Now I'm just sticking down the excess edges with some tape. Definitely could use washi tape for this, but my sticky tape was the closest on hand. Obviously the plan isn't that you really see any of that pink copy paper. It was just to be a mounting page for all of those branding strips. The branding strips I originally cut in half so that I could use both sides of the branding strip because one side is different to the other, and it just gave me a few more patterns and colors to work with. I then actually pulled all of these scraps of thread out of the rubbish bin. These were all like the excess from when I was stitching and I got to the end and I tied my knot and cut it off. I just decided I'd throw those underneath a few of the embellishments to add a little bit of texture and a little bit more of that beautiful pink cotton color in there as well. I definitely could have cut some new thread and used a whole new one, but I thought this worked. Next, I'm going to open up the cute little buttons that came with the kit and pop a few of those little buttons on. I'm not really looking at the picture per se with these little buttons. I'm more looking at the color and thinking about placement with the colors there. I then also decided that I needed a few enamel dots, and even though we got enamel dots in the kit, I wanted the more bright pink color to shine through. So I do grab some past enamel dots from a previous kit that I haven't even used yet and just pop on a few of the circles in that beautiful, nice, bright pink color. It just ties in so perfectly with the pink thread that I used throughout the layout. And then I will pull out some gold splatters. We did get gold splatters in our mixed media kit this month, which is so beautiful. That came in a collection of 3 with some white and some lavender, I want to say you'd call that color, purple. But I'm just utilizing the gold on here. And this is my finished product. I love the way this turned out, and I loved that inspiration that came from Pinterest. I think it is so much fun. And it was a really great way to get started with all of those different pattern papers. Cutting into that first sheet is always quite difficult, so it was fun to be able to use those branding strips to get me started. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.